Hey guys, welcome to Virgin Vinyl. I think since this is the first episode for this channel, I should explain, the purpose and what we're doing here, what I want to achieve anyway, and something I thought could be fun, and that is that I am pretty much a vinyl virgin. And let me explain that. So I've been collecting music all my life. Ever since I was a kid, I started buying CDs. I grew up in the 90s. I probably started buying my first CDs like towards the end of the 80s and the early 90s would have been the first CDs and tapes that I was buying back then. And over the years I amassed a collection of, 5,000 plus ish. Anyway, that was growing up in Australia. As you can probably tell from my accent, I'm Australian. But then about 8 years ago, I moved overseas, and I won't go into all the circumstances, but basically I couldn't afford to bring over my whole collection with me, and I couldn't afford to store it. And so I had to let it go, and I ended up giving it all away to friends, some to all sorts of different. I spread it all out. Anyway, I had all that music on digital form. I had a big digital library, and I thought, yeah, I'll be okay with that. I mostly listen to stuff on my iPhone anyway, like in headphones or at work on the computer. So I thought I'd be okay with that. But when you've been collecting for so many years and you just have that bug, that drive, to go and, scan search through the racks in a record shop, for that sort of hidden piece of gold or that rare record that you've been searching for years, that drive doesn't go away from someone like me. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So I kind of replaced that by, I'm a huge metal fan, so I started buying lots of metal shirts, and I amassed like this huge collection of, metal shirts. And I'm like, I would love to keep buying more, because there's always more that you can buy, and I probably will. But I was looking at my wardrobe and I'm like, fuck me, it's starting to get ridiculous. So, but that's not what brought me to this point, really. What brought me to this point was that urge to have the physical product in my hand, to actually own the physical medium itself. I wanted to have the artwork in my hand. I wanted to feel like I was, I wanted to go to record stores again, and I wanted to be part of that culture and to search for music. It was my hobby, one of my hobbies for years, and it was such an enjoyable thing. And so I decided to restart my collection. Now, at first I was like trying to decide, should I restart my CDs again or should I go to vinyl? And ultimately I chose vinyl because, I just sort of felt like starting from zero again with CDs after spending so much money on all those CDs over the years. It's something depressing about that. I don't know. It was killing me. And also, I sort of for a long time have been like, a lot of my friends collect vinyl and stuff like that, and it was like I would see their collections and be kind of jealous of it, to be honest. Like, it's just so cool to hold a record in your hand, to put a record on the record player. It does have a warm sound. That there's obviously the argument between, does it sound better, does it not sound better? Some people say yes, some people say no, but it definitely sounds different. Whether it's better or not, that's debatable. Anyway, I decided to start my collection, and so what I'm going to do on this channel is I'm going to go through, as I've since I started last year in October, I've got about 60 plus records and a whole bunch, in the post. And so I'm going to take you guys on the journey with me and not just show the record, but I'll talk a little bit about each band and the album itself, and we'll have a look at it that way. So to kick us off today, I've just pulled 5 records that I started off with that sort of represent a bit of a cross, they represent my sort of tastes reasonably well, I'm not just a metal guy, even though I have my other channel, which is the Metal Spotlight, where I focus on metal primarily. Here, I'm gonna do everything, I'm also a massive jazz fusion fan. I'm a massive prog fan, 70s, but other stuff as well. I love things like Peter Gabriel and stuff like that as well, and all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't expect, or that you might not expect from a metalhead. Anyway, though, let's show some vinyls. So I got my hands on this. This is one of the first things I picked up. Judas Priest, Unleashed in the East, and I was trying to decide where to start with Judas Priest because obviously I'm a huge Priest fan and I want to get, obviously I'm going to get more, but I've got such a backlog. I want to try and cover as much ground as I can. So I thought you can't really beat this album, Unleashed in the East. I think, when was it released? It says on the back here 1979. Is that right? Does it say on the record? Let's see. I thought it was earlier than that. Pretty sure it's earlier than 79. Is it? I don't know. 79. 1979, Sony Music. No, but I don't know. I'll check that. And, but anyway, absolute powerhouse of a record. Halford, of course, famously touched up the vocals in the studio. We know that it's not entirely live. It's, a lot of these live metal albums, live rock albums from the 70s had a little bit of help in the studio, let's be honest. But this is an absolute gem of an album. It smokes. It's a classic, and any heavy metal fan who, knows anything about heavy metal will agree with me and will have this in their collection. Got another live album here, something completely different, and I absolutely adore this album. It's just magic, and that is Jethro Tull live, Bursting Out. Absolute perfection. 3 discs, 3 CDs. I think, where were we up to? I think it was touring for around the time of maybe War Child, or no, sorry, this was like Heavy Horses. This is Heavy Horses era, sorry. And someone was screaming down there. Anyway, so here you've got the guys on the back there, looking festive and putting on an absolutely masterclass of a live performance across this album. And yeah, I mean, guys, when it comes to like playing sophisticated progressive music live and absolutely nailing it, like it's utter perfection. This album is incredible. If you're a fan of progressive rock and Jethro Tull, but you haven't heard this is my favorite album from them. I love this fucking thing, and I love all their albums. Absolute masterpiece. All right, now I'm going to jump to probably my favorite band of all time, maybe. Definitely one of them. I don't like to give that label because I love so much music. But gun to my head, if I had to really pick one, I would pick these guys. Not this album. I adore this album. It's god tier music, but it's not my favorite from them. But Birds of Fire, absolutely incredible record. from 1973. This one's a bit beat up. I won't take it out of the thing. But you've got the guys on the back there. You know, absolutely. You know, Jan Hammer on the keyboards, Rick Laird on the bass, John McLaughlin on the guitar. Is John McLaughlin, so is my guitar hero. That guy is chef's kiss, amazing. Billy Cobham, what a legend, what an incredible drummer he is. One of my all-time favorite drummers. And Jerry Goodman, absolutely burning it up on the violin, like Jimi Hendrix on the violin, but you know, like Jimi Hendrix fire with, you know, like Yngwie Malmsteen's facility, you know, that kind of thing. But just totally unique, totally original. Nobody was like them then or is like them now. And I don't think you will ever get a band anything like this incredible band, Mahavishnu Orchestra, Birds of Fire. You will see more of them on this channel, that's for sure. Okay, so I am a metalhead, and you know, when I was like, I bought like 10 albums to start with, and I went down to there's a metal shop here, and I'll do some filming there at some point, and I'll show you that because it's pretty fucking cool. And so, you know, when I was scanning the shelves, I wanted to get like a cross-section of my metal tastes, because I'm mostly into classic metal, thrash metal, death metal, and you know, like, I guess you would say like progressive death metal or like technical death metal, but more like the first generation of that kind of stuff. I'm pretty over the modern stuff, to be honest. But look, we know that these guys have kind of sold out. I don't like to use that word, but they kind of lost it, in my opinion. But when they did this album and the few after it, you know, untouchable. And when this was out, when we were young, holy shit, you know, this thing was like a monster. It was like, when I heard Four Horsemen the first time, I was like freaked out. I was like, holy shit, what is this? This is incredible. And I was just like a little kid when I heard that shit. And there you go, there's the guys on the back looking all buffed. Look at their hair. And the fucking, look at Lars, the tough guy face. Yeah. Anyway, we know what they became, and you know, it's debatable. Some people still love them. Obviously, they're still a massive concert draw. I think one of the biggest concert draws in the world. I don't begrudge them their success, but you know, it pisses me off that they became so, that they lost touch with what made them great. You know, that whole reload period for me is the worst. Like, a lot of people hate Black. I don't hate Black. You know, I loved it when it came out. I don't really listen to it anymore. But yeah, like once they did that Load and Reload and Saint Anger and all that crap, and then when they tried to come back to the thrash with Death Magnetic, it was like, it's not so bad, but it just doesn't have the youthful rage that this album has, and the next couple of albums, which are absolute masterpieces and must have for any metal fan. Lastly, I'm going to talk about what I think is, look, you know, I told you, I don't like to say what's the greatest or what's my favorite, because I have lots of favorites, but this is another one of those gun to my head situations. If you ask me what's the greatest death metal album of all time, yeah, Altars of Madness. You can't go wrong with this. If you're a death metal fan, Altars of Madness is the fucking shit. This thing is incredible. You know, after the band had already recorded, this is technically called their debut album, but it's not really their debut album. They did Abominations of Desolation beforehand with Mike Browning when he was still in the band, playing drums and doing vocals. And that album's incredible, and some of these tracks are on that. You know, they ditched him and they went off and teamed up with Dave Vincent and created and got Pete Sandoval on drums, who, you know, Pete the Feet, fucking guy's awesome. And Dave Vincent, let's face it, back then he was the GOAT when it came to death metal frontman. And this album, it's utter perfection from start to finish. You can't go wrong with it. Absolutely perfect death metal stuff. Anyway, so that's, yeah, you guys see the guys on the back. Yeah, Trey as a goth. Fuck yeah, I love his fucking playing, man. I love his playing. Alright, well, that's the start. That's where we start. From now on, what I'm going to do is, like, I'll probably do 1 or 2 albums at a time, and I'll make it a little bit more, I'll put a little bit more effort into the production and stuff like that. I'll give you some, like, I'll try and be a little bit more prepared with the histories and you know, and stuff like that. Although I want to kind of make it more like this off the cuff as well. So I won't be too prepared, but I might just, you know, jot down a few little facts and stuff like that to make it more interesting for you guys. And you get to see a little bit about, like, what the record shops look like here. And I mean, living in Israel now, I should have mentioned that at the beginning. So this is welcome to Israel. So I'll show you some of the record stores I like to go to. I'm going to be traveling over to the United States in July, and I've already, my father lives over there. I've already ordered, like, how many have I ordered already? Like, I think 15 records I've sent already to his house. And I'm planning to buy a lot more, so I'm gonna, like, absolutely destroy my luggage allowance, I think, for the plane, but I'll find a way. And so hopefully I'll do some filming over there as well, and I'm really hoping I can find some, you know, some cool opportunities to find rare records and stuff like that over there. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this voyage of discovery, and hopefully it'll be fun for you guys as well. All right, catch you later.